probably had part-time jobs while in active duty, while in the military. Being in the Navy or any branch, your pay period is definitely the 1st and the 15th. Having a part-time job or starting a side hustle is something you're able to do while in the military. Now, this is my own experience and I want to talk to you about this. Definitely talk to your chain of command if you plan to do a part-time job. So let's send it. What is up, Money Tribe? Mike Damazo here to help you make sense of dollars. Our mission is to help you get the F out of debt and then build wealth. If you are thinking of starting a side hustle or getting a second job, this video will help you. I'll break it down with the first being like the 7 sources of income, jobs and side hustles I've done while in and will continue to do, and lastly, some key takeaways. The extra income is helpful if you want to pay off debt that you have, add to your net worth, or want that extra cash to hook up your Ford Raptor. Let's break this down for you. First is earned income. For you, that is your 9 to 5, or for me and other service members, that's the Navy that pays me. A job is definitely the comfort zone, so with much like anything else, remember this acronym when it comes to a job, meaning just over broke. Now, what does that mean? That means it's the 9 to 5. That's how, when I took charge of my coins, I was just at my comfort zone expecting to know that my paycheck was coming on the 1st and the 15th of every month, as mentioned earlier. Speaking of first, don't forget to first gently tap that thumbs up. Next is profit income. So that goes with stuff you sell online, OfferUp, Facebook, Marketplace, Craigslist. Wait a minute, do people still use Craigslist? Anyways, profit income is what you need to be generating if you want to start a business, hence profit income. Then we have interest income. So this can be creating a product one time and then generating sales on its own, making it passive income. This is where your money makes money for you, like your retirement accounts that has a number of return over every year. Next up is dividend income. Dividend income is the next level above like interest income. Think of stocks. Now you purchase a regular stock and you would get whatever return it receives, but now you want to diversify and buy some dividend stocks. The company would pay you dividends on a regular basis. Then there is rental income, which I've covered in a previous video. I'll link it in the descriptions down below if you are interested to know more about rental income, house hacks, and all that. Next up, we have capital gains. Capital gains is not protein in all caps that you take after working out from the gym. I mean, those are definitely gains. An example of capital gain is buy a house for $150,000 in the southernmost part of San Diego, and then you sell it at $300,000. That $150,000 is your capital gain. Lastly is royalty income. That's letting someone use your products or ideas. An example would be a book you wrote or a piece of music you make. Whenever they use it, they would pay you royalties for using whatever thing it is that you've made. So for the jobs I've had while in the Navy, I'll deconstruct it to 2 different categories. The first is a W-2 job. That means I filled out an application and I was in the payroll and everything. I got pay stub, I was gonna say the LES, leave an earning statement, or rather I was part of the gig economy. Think of Uber or Lyft, but those weren't the things that I've done. Some things I've done in my last duty station, even though it was a deployable command, I had enough time to pick a second job at where I was. That was a restaurant. I knew the people that worked there, and the restaurant business was something I wanted to, at the time, invest, which I still definitely do intend to later on in different businesses. So how it worked was I had the part-time, I would get off work at 4 or 1600 for my military folks and work for like 4 hours at the sushi restaurant in Central California. I started out as a dishwasher and then moved up in becoming a sushi chef. At the time, I did it because where I was stationed at, we didn't have a lot going on around there because it was a rural area, and I wanted to generate extra income to go into my credit card debt that I had at the time. It was surprising how I was able to actually pull it off, considering that I was going to school at that time. I was also working an important job as a career counselor. So by being able to balance the online classes, my main military job, and that part-time job is definitely something doable. Another one was being part of the gig economy. So like I mentioned, it wasn't Uber or Lyft, it was more of a food delivery job. So it was Postmates to earn extra cash and more of an experiment to see how that process was. I wanted to do what I did before with balancing an extra part-time job and going to online classes. Overall, it wasn't that difficult and I stayed around my general area and drove around here. If this is something you are thinking about doing, definitely go drive around to areas where it is more of a rich neighborhood, just because the tips are great. So I knew that like when I would get off of work, I just would do 2 hours and balance that with spending time with my wife and spending time with my daughter. And that one was definitely quick. I liked the ability to see the different restaurants I didn't know was around me. Another one that I did have for a short time was actually a sales representative at a gym that I was going to. This was more to see the skill set that I can learn from them. I didn't end up doing it too long because of being deployed later that year. Now, the other category I would say is more under the table, just because it was making quick cash on the side and not necessarily really needing to report it as long as it's under $5,000 a month. Reselling sneakers. This was before StockX and I was a huge sneakerhead before, and the goal was always to buy 2 pairs, capitalizing on reselling another pair to offset the cost of my own purchase. I would do that as well with tickets such as going to Coachella and EDC, just to name a few. There's also reselling of electronics. This was more of being hyper aware of consumer trends of what products are coming out that will have that rush and low demand. Places I would buy would be from the Navy Exchange or your base exchange. The reason being is I remember like new Jordans would come out and there'd be like a line, but shopping in the Navy Exchange, there wasn't much of a wait. And also in the base exchange, they would have these promos where there is a scratch off where you can get at least a minimum of 5% off up to 50% off. And you take into account shopping on base meant that purchases were tax free. You know what else is free? Smashing that thumbs up. Then, way before when I first got to San Diego, I would go out a lot. Enough that I actually met people that would promote clubs, and that's when I got into club promotion, where I would try to compile a guest list of people I would meet in the mall, back at the time when people actually went to the mall, and see if there was any party interested in doing bottle service, or like I mentioned, making a list of people that wanted to get into the club. That bottle service, I would take a cut from bringing groups in, and this was definitely a throwback Thursday, and when I was really done with money, because I can't even remember where that money went to. It probably went to feed into my sneakerhead collection of shoes. Supplemental income is great because it creates extra cash for whatever you need. In the beginning, my goal was to have more money to party. Then it definitely grew into generating more money to pay off credit cards and auto loans that I had. Now it is more of a wealth creation tool where I reinvest that money into setting aside for a new investment property or even stocks, and also maximizing my retirement accounts. The key is to find balance. Don't forget to rest. Finding balance was something I definitely had to learn, trying to do a job, my main one, second job, and then also school. So definitely be mindful of your mentality and be smart on how you allocate your capital. Thank you for watching. Check the links in the description for the helpful tools I have. Tap that thumbs up for this video. Sound off in the comments below if you have any side hustles or part-time jobs you've done. High five that subscribe if you haven't already. Stay legendary, and I'll see you in the next video.